I know I have been MIA on the planetary forecast and the mathematics. I really, really, really needed a break. Um, I just need to take something off my plate for a little while so I can, do other things. I don't know where my gauges are. I think they're still in the bathroom. Hold on, let me put something in my ears for my ears close up. But yes, we are here for the planetary update. So first, I want to go over some things we may have already experienced with the planets, and then we're gonna get up to what we're gonna experience for the rest of this month. Feel me? Hey Kane, hey Bedford, how y'all doing? Peace to the gods. Hey Marco. All right, so so when we started the month, we started the month with we started the month on the with Moon and Saturn being in conjunction. Actually, it was like a triangle type of situation with the Moon, Saturn, and Neptune. So that was kind of setting the tone for the month. Mind you, in the mathematics, we are in the month of mastery. Okay, so this is the month of mastery in the year of giving birth. So in this month, we are mastering. Whatever we master is what we're going to give life to. So if you didn't know, I already know that. Please utilize the remainder of this month just working on what every number, what we're mastering, what we're mastering, what we're mastering. Today is the day of 1 and 6. So we have that knowledge and that awareness of our Tippereth, right? That Leo energy in the center, that balance between our higher and lower self. 6 also deals with Virgo energy. This is how we listen, how we learn, how we speak, how we teach. This is also dealing with, how we organize ourselves, our routine, our habits, how we communicate. This also deals with our ability to harvest. You reap what you sow here. So having a sense of awareness and taking action on that harvest energy of I reap what I sow. 6 is equality in mathematics. 1 is knowledge, right? So having knowledge on that sense of equality is what's going to bring you to the 7, that energy of God. So today we're mastering that energy of 7, right? We're mastering our ability to design what we want in our space. And when you're in your creative love self, that Venusian energy of designing and love, you are closest to God because that's what God represents, the creator. You know what I'm saying? Love is the strongest superpower. That's why I call you guys love and beloved, because that is synonymous with me like calling you God. Hey Obi, how you doing, love? So all that there, you know what I'm saying? So when you master the 7, it's going to bring us to our solar plexus chakra because now we have knowledge of 8, our ability to build and destroy. 1 is being associated with that Aries energy, the gut that controls the mind. Everything starts with the thought, taking initiative, taking action, and then it's a fire in the gut, and then 8 is the building and destroying that happens in response to the fire in the gut, right? 1 is the thought, the awareness. 8 is, are we building or are we destroying in alignment with that level of awareness? So that's the 18 that we get when we master that 7. So then that brings us 9, giving birth. So we actually experienced 2 9s today, because not only when we master today's date, that brings us to a 9, but we're also in the year of 9. And remember, this year of 9 is brought to us by 2025, wisdom in our cipher and wisdom in our power. Okay, 2 is associated with that chokma energy, Tahuti, the wisdom from the oracle and the sages. We get into the expansion and abundance. 2 can also be associated with Mayat when we get into the justice scales, right? And then 0 is, of course, our space. 5 is associated with Herakahuti. This is Mars energy when we get into the Sephiros, Jadula, which is the celestial enforcer. How you enforce your internal law. Because last year we were in the year of 2024. So that was heavy on the Mayat. That was heavy on, because 4 is Chesed. That's literally Mayat. Creating your law and order for yourself. So last year, you guys should have been really, really focused on creating that law and order for yourself. In these last couple months, some of y'all got to hurry up and play catch up. We were in the space of enforcing that law that you guys created last year. Okay, so hopefully you guys like, you know what? I have been enforcing. I've been standing on business. I had this whole blueprint in 2024. I knew I was gonna do it. It seemed fair. It's justice. I was manifesting. Woo wop. And yes, all year long, I felt like people was coming to me and testing me, trying to see if I was really about my handle, and I'm coming into these different interactions. Some of them good, and they're, nurturing to my goals and the things I said I wanted. Other ones is kind of like testing me on the things that I said that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So that is all, helping you exercise your ability to enforce the things that you said that you wanted in your space. Right? And we move in gratitude because we love opportunities to enforce our shit, right? So when you put the two nines together, it's gonna bring us right back to 1 and 8. So once again, today is still a heavy solar plexus chakra day. If we get that 18 twice today, y'all. Overall, today's a day of 9 for the collective, giving birth to the things based upon our solar plexus chakra. So, what's your motivation? What's your ambition? What are your triggers? Pay attention to your Aries placements and your Scorpio placements today on the 1 and 8. Also, pay attention to your Mars placement and your Pluto placement today because we do get two 1 and 8s today. 9 is associated with Cancer energy of the celestial womb. Hey, Lewis. 9 is also associated with Sagittarius ruling over the ninth house, still dealing with the reproductive self. All right. So those are different placements of self you guys can focus on today. Heavy on pulling a wands card, taking action. Today is a day of action. If you didn't take action on none of the things that you wanted to do today, you got some hours left to do so. Well, if you on my time, it's only 5:41 over here. And there's other time zones that's even further back than me. So you guys got time for the rest of the day to really enforce things you want in your space. I know I did. I'm feeling good that I'm here with y'all because I haven't been here in a couple weeks, y'all. I haven't done the planetary forecast. It's like, geez, did I even do it in October? I don't even think I did it in October. Maybe I did it in the beginning of October. And I'm so happy to be here. So yay to me and my solar plexus chakra. But happy day of 8, y'all. So I don't know how we got here. Day of 9, not 8. I don't know how we got here. But once again, focus on your solar plexus chakra. So coming back to the second. We started the month off with this triangle happening in Pisces energy. Pisces energy is all about our belief system. Yeah, because we are on Saturn and Neptune are both on Pisces on the tropical and in the Vedic. So not only is our mindset with the tropical how we think things are because of our upbringing, so is Vedic, which is the actual events and happenings, which is why Vedic seems so much more accurate because it's actually dealing with your masculine interactions outside of yourself. And people like their masculine interactions, they deal with their masculine interactions more than they deal with their thoughts, their mindset, their emotions and stuff, because we're always taught to go outward. Everything has to be outward and, the world and, people and our deities and our altars and everything is outside of ourselves. So that's why Vedic may seem more, accurate. But both Vedic and tropical are both within because that's the power of the mindset. If you think it and you think it to be, then so it shall be. And it's really that simple. So yeah, so we had that triangle happening there. We was gonna make it happen with the challenges that strengthen us in our dreams to keep us moving because this is the month of. That's how we got here because it's the month of mastery, and right now we're mastering our dreams, our goals, our things hidden beneath the horizon, our sixth sense. That's telling us what our purpose is, what you're here for, which ain't always in alignment with what's professional stuff. Excuse me as I utilize my 4 P's because I just got done reading that book, Balance Me. But like I said, a lot of us are indoctrinated into the economics and career and having 5 side hustles and 3 ebooks and all that nonsense. And so for that reason, there's something in my pocket. Oh, I do got stuff in my pocket. The moon, Saturn, and Neptune are here to give you the challenges that you need to strengthen you on the pursuit of your dreams and your goals and your aspirations and your beliefs, and also revealing things that's hidden beneath the horizon, because that's what Scorpius energy is also about. If you think about the waters, the waters are very mysterious. We only explored like the top layer of water, right? So it's so much water and water is the above and below. It's such a mysterious thing. Hey, whatchamacallit? So that's why all 3 of the water signs kind of deal with that level of mysteriousness. You got the crab, hiding behind the shell. You have Scorpius energy is very also hiding behind the shell and the claws. And then you have Pisces energy is just like straight deep waters, just the endings and unknown and things. So the moon is nurturing that part of self. I'm saying? The mysterious parts of self. Your nervous system is heavy here. Your thoughts, your intuition, your sensitivities, your spiritual self, all of those things. Saturn, we be mad at Saturn. A lot of you guys like to demonize Saturn because it's associated with a goal and it's Christmas time and all that stuff like that. But that's because people don't like discipline and order. There's an order to everything. It's an order to everything everywhere. If you want to join a club, you want to join a business, you want to do you gotta learn how to get with the order that is associated with that thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You want to join a group of friends, there's an order amongst them. And you have to get in alignment with whatever order that is going. And that's what Saturn is about. Saturn is about, okay, you said you wanted to be an artist. Well, I'm about to get you in order. I'm about to give you the challenges that you need, the experiences that you need that may be a little difficult because the planets are bigger than us. So the experiences that we have, especially because we've been taught to be so soft with all this estrogen in our systems, um, it may be very strenuous, sometimes a little traumatic, but it is there to give us the strength that we need to keep moving forward. And that's all Saturn wants to do. And the moon is there to help nurture us, and Neptune is there, is just amplifying the intuition and the sensitivity. So that's how we started the month. Like, listen, y'all gonna learn how to bring y'all dreams to the physical. Okay? If nothing else in this month of mystery, that's what you're gonna do. Okay? Some of you guys' dreams, feel free to communicate in the chat, I like that because it makes me feel like I talk to myself. But some people's dreams have been becoming more and more vivid. You know what? Honestly, this month of mastery for me has been a lot of confirmation, because I've been having deja vu like a motherfucker. And that's also Pisces energy, because your intuition will show you like, yeah, you drink this already. This was already something happening in your space, stuff like that. So the fact that I'm even in a space and I had deja vu like all majority of my day today. It was just like, I had deja vu yesterday. like I'm really living in some dreams that I had, and if I pinpoint it back, I know I don't I think it was in like 2020. Yeah, it was like 2020 when I had these dreams of where I'm at right now, which is very interesting. When you get into the numerology of it, 2020 is the year of 4. We're now in the year of 9, and I'm in my personal year of 1. So I'm starting over right now. So this is kind of like cool for me. Um, Also, we have Venus and Spica in alignment. Spica is that star of harvest. So this was also setting the tone of what you desire, you can harvest, you can create in your space during this month of mastery. We're really setting the tone for you to have what you desire and what you want. The stars were in alignment for you to do that. Starting right off. Mercury and Graphias were also in alignment. So our throat chakra was sitting in the Scorpio constellation. Scorpio is also all about empowerment, building, and destroying the solar plexus chakra. So invocation is very heavy here, into bringing the things that we would like into our space. Then we get into the third, we're mastering our sense of expression, emotion, creation. That's when Venus entered the Libra constellation. So now we have Venus in its home constellation of balance, justice, truth, fairness. You may have been experiencing a lot of events that help recalibrate the balance in your heart. Y'all know the goal is to keep your heart as light as a feather in all interactions. It's really a superpower. And I know that some of you guys who like to keep your heart down and heavy because you like to be like the darkness in the room. That's cool. Everybody got a lane. This is my lane. So you do what resonates. In my lane, you keep your heart light as a feather. You could be talking to the darkest energy in the room. They're going to straighten up their tie for you. I promise you they will. They do it for me all the time. And I love it here. Okay? So there's a power in that. There's a power in being fair. There's a power in being just. There's a power in being righteous. And that's what Libra wants to let people know. There's a power in being light. When you go through things and you experience things in your facets of love as well as business, you don't want your heart to become callous. I had this conversation earlier to repeat the quote again. When you have your hand closed, it's not just closed so you don't give to others, but it's also closed for you not to be able to receive as well. So be mindful of that when you're walking through this plane with your clenched fists and your clenched teeth. That's preventing you from communicating. You can't really talk as much as you want to talk. After a while, this should start to hurt too. You don't want to do all of that. That's not what we're doing. Okay? So Venus entered Libra constellation on the day that we were mastering our expression and setting the tone for that. Then on the 5th, we're mastering our Tippereth, right? On the 5th, we're mastering our celestial enforcer, our ability to enforce our internal law and order in our space. That just so happened to be the day we experienced our full moon, baby. And this was a super moon. This is also a hunter's moon and a beaver moon. And because the sun is Scorpio zodiac, the moon on the equal opposite side is in that fixed earth energy of Taurus. So this was a Taurus moon. And that's how you can tell, for my newbies that are coming in, that's how you can tell where the full moon is going to be. The full moon is always opposite of where the sun is. So if the sun is in Scorpio, the zodiac, but it was still in Libra constellation because we don't transfer constellations until about the 17th of the month. So we had like a Libra Scorpio sun, and we have an Aries Taurus moon. Okay, so that moon was all about new beginnings and focusing on what you value, what you prioritize. Once again, in that Venusian energy of designing. You see the alignment. On the second, we have Venus and Spica starting off. Now we got Venus in Libra creating that justice and fairness in alignment with what you said you want to harvest. Now we got that Venusian moon, that Taurus moon, bringing us, that ability to enforce the things that we want to enforce on that fifth day of the month. Leo energy also deals with the heart chakra in the realms of the Sephiros, Tippereth. Actually, Leo rules over the fifth house. Then we get into six. This is when we get into Tippereth because six is associated with this sixth sphere. So when we're on the sixth, now we're mastering our Tippereth. Now we're mastering that harvest energy too, because in supreme mathematics, six is equality. What you put in, what you're gonna get out. Virgo also rules over the sixth house. So also bringing on that harvest energy of what you put in is what you're going to get out. Where's your work ethic? Are you listening? Are you teaching? Are you learning? Are you speaking? Are you organizing yourself? What are your habits? Because that's what's going to control what you get back in return, right? So on that day, we had the moon creating another triangle for us with Pleiades, which is how we deal with our wounds. That's the seven wounded sisters. So that might have been an emotional space on a six, because the six deals with Leo, the heart, the inner child. And then Uranus was also there providing us with progressive pushes. So some of you guys have been carrying a lot of the wounds, a lot of things that's been hurting on you, hanging on you heavy. That could have been the day where you really learn how to nurture that wounded self. And you may have experienced different pushes that are pushing you to stop walking around with those wounds. I'm talking about this yesterday a little bit. Somebody had said something about, your childhood is not an excuse to be a jerk. And rightfully so. It's not an excuse to be a jerk. And in the same breath, we are all walking children. Everyone is still that child. You know what I'm saying? You might have got indoctrinated, educated, trained, traumatized, a lot of little things that happen to kind of like mold some of your activity and things a little, your behaviors and stuff like that a little bit. But essentially the core central of you, that child is still there. You know what I'm saying? Now just learning how to be present with that inner child as the outer adult. You are the adult your inner child prayed for. And that adult might have to do some healing. That adult might have to learn how to do some adulting. That adult has to learn how to interact. That adult has to learn how to shed some of that indoctrination and trauma so that that inner child can have what they need. It's kind of like how, like, I went through mad stuff when I was a kid. And so when I had my children, I'm like, all the stuff I went through, my kid's not going to go through that. I know what to do. I'm a boo, 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 boo. That's the same way you need to be with yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact way you need to be with your inner self. So keep that in mind. And so we had the moon, Pleiades, and Uranus giving us a nice little triangle there, giving us the progressive push that we needed to actually do that. The meteor shower, the Leonids meteor shower also began on that day. That's coming from the Leonis constellation, giving us that balance beam in between our upper and lower self. Also giving us more heart chakra energy, because you guys know as the sun is in Scorpio, Earth is in Taurus. Earth is always in opposition of where the sun is at. So we are over here in the lovey-dovey. That's where we get the cuffing season. And a lot of people are having babies. Like, I don't know if we follow the same, social media influencers, but it seems like a lot of the couples on these social media influencer couples, they're all like either just had a baby, planning to have a baby. It's just a lot of that going on. I'm like, oh, look at the babies all over the place. But that Earth is experiencing that because Earth is in Taurus, and Taurus is that spring energy, right? The baby's coming out or baby's being conceived, so the energies are coming out, to be born into people's wombs, and it's fun here. Mars also enters Sagittarius zodiac. So now we have our solar plexus chakra as a collective, our motivation, our ambition, what gets us going in this space of expansion and abundance, philanthropy, optimism. Some people are getting into overindulgences in their sensories at the same time. What do I mean by that? Sagittarius deals with addictions. So overeating, we got all these eating holidays. Over consuming, we got all this decorative gift giving holidays that leave a whole bunch of trash all over the place every year. We got a lot of people drink a lot heavy, especially if they're already depressed, they're not around family, all the different things. People's depression starts kicking in because people are receiving, less vitamin D in certain areas of the world, different things like that. And so that could be like the dark side of the Sagittarius energy. On the light side, we got the philanthropy, you got the coat drives, the food drives, especially with what was happening with the EBT cards and people working for free for some odd reason and all the different stuff like that. It should have started putting in perspective the importance of community and people showing up for each other and not relying on an entity that's not designed for like the cultivation and nurturing of the community, the village, the people. We invest a lot of time, energy, and mindset into these entities, these organizations, these systems that are not designed to nurture us back. They might provide us with services and products, but they're not providing us with anything that we couldn't provide ourselves with if we rolled up our sleeves and actually did it. And we would probably do a way better job at it too. I believe so. I believe in us. You ain't got to believe in us. I do. So that's all Mars and Sagittarius zodiac is learning how to deal with that bright light of philanthropy and giving and optimism and wisdom, but also learning how to deal with that overactivity that can come in the sacral chakra, overindulging into things as well. And so what's your motivation? Anger also coming out of this too. So be mindful of bumping heads with other people about what you like to do and what makes you happy and what you want to give versus what they want to do. So that can also happen during this space and time too. Then we get into 11-7. Now we're in the space of mastering our celestial designer, which is really cool. 7 is also associated with God because then we get into this creator spirit, right? Mars and Dashuba were in conjunction because now we have, even though Mars has entered Sagittarius zodiac, so our mindset is on that expansion abundance of the sacral chakra, Mars is still in the Scorpio constellation. So empowering transformations are still happening to our solar plexus chakra to prepare us for when Mars enters Sagittarius and starts going to expansion abundance. But in order to do that, you have to have some level of confidence first. You gotta be courageous. You gotta be willing to build and destroy and transform things and all that stuff before you can start going into, okay, we about to start giving, we about to start indulging. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. Hey, who's dope? What's up with you, man? So that's all that there. So Mars was over there in Scorpius constellation, still undergoing those necessary transformations. The Shuba is kind of like a harsh star because it is Saturn and Mars. So a lot of friction, bumping heads, little battles happening, back and forth happening, as you can see in the dialogue amongst people online about their opinions on different things. All that stuff is happening in the Mars. Hey, handsome. Happy Sunday. Also, the comet 55P Temple Tuttle was conjunct Sun. We love comets. Why do we love comets? Because comets are essentially these really, really ancient celestial bodies that just travel all over our galaxy and accumulate other pieces of dust and minerals and elements and stuff that pass by and they slurp it into their orbit. And then, so a lot of the comets have celestial material in it that could tell you stories of the beginning of the universe. Have they been able to slice open a comet to figure it out? I don't think so, but I would like to grab one. But yeah, so that comet being conjunct the sun, a lot of you guys coming to your primordial selves, awakening your primordial selves would have been cool if you were outside sunbathing in that. Also, the solar flares increasing, with those alignments. So it's like the sun actually wants you to have them. Go out and receive it. Go get those, primordial messages, bring you to the original energy, that you need. Venus also entered the Scorpio zodiac. So again, dealing with the zodiac, we're dealing with the mind space, right? Our thought process. So having our heart chakra enter the thoughts of transformations, empowerment, also a little sex here, because Scorpio a little sexy. And then Mars is also in that sexy constellation. So, y'all out there being nasty and we love you. But Venus is also being empowered. So business moves being made here, what you value, what you prioritize, moving in that space, moving in that confidence, all those different things. That's creating the transformations that's necessary, that's going to empower you, revealing the truths that's necessary to empower you. I don't know what was going on in the news, especially for the 7th. I feel like it was something because I know that was my sister's birthday. It is that was like last Friday, right? Not the Friday that just passed, but the Friday before that. Uh, it was something. It was something. It's something. Um, but Venus is undergoing those transformations. What you value, what you prioritize, what helps you with your self esteem, what you find beauty in, all those things should have been undergoing, empowering transformations in your mindset. Then we go to 11:8. Now we're mastering the transformations, right? Venus done gave us a punch in the face on the Friday, a Venusian rule day. And now on the 8th, we're mastering those transformations. Like, oh, y'all got me good yesterday. I'm out here mastering today. What's good? Um, Mars and Graphius were in alignment, so that's another Saturn Mars powered star. So again, we're still bumping heads in our solar plexus chakra on what motivates us, what angers us, and what gets us going. The Moon and Teja posterior were in alignment, so that is I want to say Teja posterior is the star in the Cancer constellation, but don't quote me on that. I believe at this point we are in Cancer. I believe. Oh, you know what? I think I did write it. Because I had a period of time where I was writing like star stuff on, I was going in on my notes. I don't think that was this notebook. It's alright. Hold on. I got you. I got another notebook. So this is my the notes that I've taken from all the books that I've read over all the years, and we love it here. I got it. Hold on a second, y'all. I got more notebooks. You would think. Sometimes I know them at the top of my head, but I think I'm just second guessing myself a little bit. And my apologies. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. Teja posterior. Yes. It's Gemini. I'm sorry. It's not Cancer. It's Gemini. So that's the star in the back of the foot of the Gemini twin. And this is it rolls over your hands, arms, and shoulders. And it's about health and goodwill, force, energy, and protection. Gemini is all about intellect and having that sense of duality, knowing how to be flexible and focused rather than fickle. All right. So the moon was nurturing our Gemini energy. The moon was hugging Geminis that day on the 8th as we mastered the transformations around us. We're nurturing our ability to see things from multiple points of view. And that's pretty cool because I know we like to insult each other with that C word of you're contradicting or that H word of you're such a hypocrite. However, we're such infinite beings that it's okay to have conflicting thoughts. It's okay to think one way and then also be able to empathize or sympathize with the next thought. Hey, North. Is that what it says? North next door. Hey. Hi, Timmy's. But yeah, so keeping that in mind. What else we had? We had Mercury and Aries, so we still have our throat chakra in that constellation of transformations. And Aries is a little bit softer than Teshuvah and Graphius. So now we're in the space of Jupiter and Mars. So it's more so a prideful star, being demanding and liberal. All right. So it's still a little harsh because you got the Saturn challenge. I mean, not Saturn. You got the Mars. Mars can be very confrontational. But you do have Jupiter there rather than Saturn, and Jupiter's a little bit expanded abundance. Working on your long-term goals, speaking those into existence, journaling there could have been cool. And then also on the 8th, now we have the Sun entering Draconic Sagittarius. So the spiritual selves as a collective has moved into the Sagittarius space. Christmas shit all over the place. People handing out soup out of their see-through jackets. I don't know what that's about. That looks really disgusting. But that's all that philanthropy, expansion, and abundance to the point where it's kind of like, all right, tone it down a bit. But that's how Sagittarius can get, right? And we can love it there. It's okay to love it there. Then we get into 11:9, right? 11:9. Now we're mastering our ability to give birth to the things in our space. And we move in gratitude. We're mastering our sense of wholeness and completion as well here on the 11:9. Ooh. And it's also opening us up for the fact that we're about to walk into the second decan of the month, because 11 and 9 come together and make 20, which is 20 wisdom in our cipher. And we're about to come into our decan of wisdom of, now we have finished our first decan of the month, the first, 10 days. And we're about to walk into the next one, where now we're finding balance and justice, fairness, and truth in these different things that we've initiated during the first decan of the month, right? So when we come into 11-9, Mercury's retrograde began, okay? And we have Mercury's retrograde happening in Sagittarius, Zodiac, Scorpio constellation. So we're repeating some of those degrees of when we were invoking things in our space that was creating transformations, empowering transformations, but transformations nonetheless. Business moves being made here, a truth being told, things of that nature. Also in our mindset, that expansion, that abundance, that desire to serve and give, we're rewinding those degrees as well. So, being aware of those things in the throat chakra of the collective, especially when you're interacting with someone that may communicate in a fire type of way, or in, a water, more so Oya. Oya rolls over the storms, as the Scorpius. Scorpius is about the dramatic transformation, right? So being mindful of that when you're in communication with somebody is definitely important. Then you have the moon was going through the Gemini constellation still. So now you have the moon going through Castor and Pollux, which are the Gemini twins that bring us, that energy of being finite and infinite at the same time, because our body is finite, but our energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? So we have that sense of duality. Getting in tune with your sense of duality and nurturing those multiple sides of self, those different facets of self, is definitely important. Also, on this day of mastering our sense of completion and wholeness, we also came into Uranus entering the Taurus zodiac. So Uranus is in retrograde. It has exited out of the Gemini energy and is officially back in Taurus zodiac, and it'll be rewinding like 2 or 3 more degrees before it goes back forward. So now we're back to providing those progressive pushes in what we value and what we prioritize. So some of you guys, really, really value the material world. Like this is it, man. This is it. This is where your self-esteem lies. This is what determines who you value and who you respect and who you want in your space, right? And so, Uranus provides progressive pushes, because they're like, bro, that's not really what you want. You're saying that you want to be more kumbaya and community center, da da da. So I have to progressively push you. I got to push the shit out of you for you to realize that that's not really what you want. These are not really the actions and the priorities that you want to have in your space. The moral code of the collective is being pushed here in a certain kind of way. So be mindful of that. While Uranus is in the Taurus zodiac, I believe it is still it's actually in the cardinal. So it's in so we're at 29 degrees Taurus zodiac. Subtract 24, because the Ayana Masa, which means the difference between the tropical and the Vedic, is 24 degrees. So we're at 5 degrees Taurus constellation. So we're still in the cardinal section, the beginning section of taking initiative and taking action in our events of the pushes. So while you think in your mind you almost over those pushes that's happening mentally to you, the events just started. So buckle up, baby. We got more going. And just to remind you, Uranus entered Taurus at the beginning of COVID. Like the beginning of March, Uranus entered Taurus. By the end of the month, we was receiving checks and we was in a crib. And only certain workers could come out and stuff like that. And that's all Taurus. That's all Taurus. Teaching you how to change. Uranus is teaching you how to change, but all Taurus was that, we value jobs, we value degrees, we have the family, we couldn't even see your family, couldn't see your loved ones, couldn't do certain things, we were losing people. That was Uranus providing those progressive pushes. So we're still going to keep experiencing things like that. We're not done with Uranus being in Taurus, okay? We also have, so then we come into 11-10. So now we're officially in the midpoint between the first and second decan of the month. We're in the space of mastering our earthly self. Because 10 is very special because it deals with knowledge in our cipher. It deals with Malkuth, Jeb energy. This is our earthly experience. But 1 plus 0 is 1. So it also brings us back up to our Asar self, our awareness and our depth of being, our knowledge, taking action. So not only do we deal with our earthly physical self here, but we also deal with our crown chakra, our spiritual self here, as well with the 10, the 1, and 0. which is kind of like, why like Aquarius is associated with the one, but when you put the ones and zeros together, Aquarius also rules over the ones and zeros of the internet. This is a combination of our physical self and our non-physical self, because I'm not physically in your room for you to hear me, but I am there at the same time. That's a beautiful example of what 10 and 1 is, okay? Um, then we also, so that's what we're mastering on that day. Then on that day, we had Moon and Jupiter in conjunction. So now we have this expansion, this abundance, and this joy in our home and family, and our sense of nurturing and cultivating one another. Some people may have been stepping up and showing up for one another, doing really kind things, giving things away, showing love to one another could have been definitely a thing there. Now, if you're a standoffish, with the moon energy, and you're still not learning how, you're still not nurturing your maternal side, whether you be in a man body or a woman body, we all got some sort of like motherly type energy about us. Everybody got a mothership. Um, this expand it. There could have been an expansion and abundance on that lack of as well. All right. Uranus was also in conjunction with Pleiades, so also once again providing us progressive pushes in our wounds. Now that Uranus is repeating those degrees. Some of y'all holding on to wounds a little too long. Some of y'all not knowing how to communicate with one another because you want to hold on to these wounds, and these wounds justify how you've been communicating and treating people. These wounds justify how you live, and you've created a comfort zone around this, but you don't realize that you're in your way of the things that you claim you're manifesting. You can't manifest things and then get in your own way about what you need to do and what you need to strive for. What you need to prioritize. So we give thanks to Uranus for giving us that ability to once again progressively push out of our wounded self and how we've been carrying and dealing with our wounds, so we can move forward. Keeping our heart light as a feather, right? Um, the moon and Persepi were also in alignment today on that day. Persepi is the star in the Cancer. That's Cancer. Now we in Cancer, right? That's located at the head of the crab, and it's kind of like it's not the best star. It's actually associated with Mars, and Moon and Mars don't really get along because the Moon wants to go inward and nurture and cultivate, while Mars wants to go outward and be active and woo wah. So that's why that star is a little kind of funky being in Cancer constellation, because that's that little piece of Cancer that will go outward and do all the hoopla, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll go right back into their crabby self. So, that's the balance with that 6 and 9 over there. But the moon was in alignment, being in its home constellation, and that was bringing adventure, brutality, but also the energy of the spirit of the ancestors. So that would have been a good day of invocation and, cleaning your altar and things like that. And then we get into 1111. So now we're mastering our sense of mastery so we can upgrade ourselves to a master architect, right? Jupiter retrograde began on that day. Go figure that one. So now we have Jupiter in retrograde in the Cancer zodiac. I believe we officially entered the Cancer constellation too. We might be at 1 degree Cancer at this point. So we're in Cancer. Happy Jupiter return to my people that have Jupiter in their Cancer constellation. I do, but I'm in Leo zodiac Cancer constellation, so I'm getting closer and closer to my Jupiter return, gang. Um, but yeah, so we have that expansion and abundance happening in our homes. A lot of you guys are experiencing transformations in your home, but for the good. Embrace the good. I don't know why when I say I think of little Nicky. He's like, embrace the good. Feel the good. So that's where we're at with that. Just nurturing your sacral chakra, nurturing what brings you joy, what you really want to do. A lot of you guys hide your sacral chakra from yourself in an attempt to hide it from the world. And fuck the world, fuck them people. Most of them don't do what they want to do yet anyway. That's why they can't respect someone that's doing what they want to do. I can't respect you being in your truth and having fun and being all up in your sacral chakra because I don't embrace mine. And it's always somebody angry with an overactive solar plexus chakra or overactive throat chakra trying to tell somebody what to do with their sacral chakra. Like, bro, chill the fuck out. The only person you can control is yourself. You can say your opinions and your insults all day long, but if my sacral chakra finds joy in certain things, then that's what it finds joy in. Be in your lane. Be in your truth. Don't be suppressing your sacral chakra because you want to sit amongst them overactive solar plexus chakra people. Them people is miserable. Let me tell you how miserable them people is. That's why they always projecting their shit on other people. I don't do this. I don't allow myself to feel joy. Everything is hard work. Everything is da 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 da. So you should be miserable just like me. Like, no, fuck you. We're not doing that. Hey, truth, peace of the God. So be mindful of it when you're in a room full of them kind of people. And I'm pretty sure visuals popped up in your head when you heard what I said. Also, this was also the time of the last quarter moon. So now we are coming into we're about to be in the new moon, right? When are we going into the new moon? It should be this week. It should be this week. Yeah, on the 20th. Yeah. So this is the last quarter moon. This is the last little sliver. We was in the waning crest, the waning gibbous moon. That's when we were cleansing the physical things out of our space. So now we're officially in the waning crescent moon where we are cleansing the intangible things out of our space, like our mindset, our emotions, our habits, internal things, stuff like that. So that's where we're at right now in the moon phase. I haven't been doing the daily mathematics. I'm there, but I'm not there. So then we get to 11, 12. Now we're in the space of mastering our knowledge and wisdom that'll bring us a sense of understanding. We're in the triangle in our mind now with the knowledge, the wisdom of Chokma, bringing us the understanding of Saturn, of Bina, and we're going to bring it down to our shoulders when we come to, our good angel and our bad angel on our shoulders, that balance between our Chesed and our Jabora here. And I know y'all seen the Looney Tunes, that's heavily like Chesed giving us grace, and Jabora, that celestial enforcer that's associated with fire. But we've demonized fire so much. Like, so is symbol is a little demon, but they actually supposed to work together, not the demon is actually supposed to enforce what the angel says to do, as long as the triangle in the middle is in agreement. You know what I'm saying? That's why the triangle in the middle in the cartoon was looking to both, like, especially what was that dog's name? Pluto used to have his angel and demon on his shoulder a lot too. Mickey Mouse as well. But like, the triangle in the middle is consulting with those two, and the triangle in the middle has to be in agreement. And then the rest of the Sephiroths follow. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. So where was I going with this? The last quarter moon? Oh, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what we were mastering that in the second decade of the month. On that day, Mercury and Mars were in conjunction. So we know that Mercury and Mars are both in that Sagittarius zodiac Scorpio constellation energy. So our throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra of us as a collective is going through that expansion abundance. Hence why, once again, we see all that Christmas stuff all over the place, like the giving and the blah blah blah. Obatala sometimes is associated with that same energy as Santa Claus, because as much as people like to gatekeep their stuff, no matter how much you gatekeep your stuff, we're so similar as a people that our deities do have similarities. They do have parallels. We are in parallel universes, and it's really cool that we have the power to hop on an airplane, a boat, a train, whatever, and go travel to a parallel universe and have an experience, of that culture and what they got going on. We literally travel through time and space. We've just been indoctrinated so much, we don't see the magic in the things that we do. It's just like, whatever. Not whatever. Nigga, you just traveled through time and space. You went forward and backwards at the same time. Are you kidding me? That's magic. Could you imagine somebody from the past coming here and seeing all the things that we have? Everything is a witchcraft. We lost our wonder. We lost we lost a lot of things because of our domestication. We need to gain that back, that pull that sun card, that fool card back on us, and go back through this world with that child wonderlust. That whatever it is that y'all think an adult is supposed to be and supposed to do, that shit ain't real. That's all indoctrination to keep y'all in a certain position that keeps other people on top of y'all because they have overactive solar plexus chakras. They're not balanced. They're not balanced beings. So they've created this law and order of what an adult is and how adults supposed to behave. And that creates like this mindset of a lot of dismissiveness and indifference to the magic in our world. Come back. But yeah, Mercury and Mars was in conjunction, and we're invoking that expansion, abundance, and the joy. We're manifesting those things, and we're not only we speaking it, but let's get it the fuck done. Because one is knowledge taking action. That's Aries energy. That's the gut that controls the mind. Two is Taurus. Now we're formulating it in the physical, and then we get to three, which is Gemini. Now we're in the intellectual realms of the things. You right? We're in Saturn. Three is also dealing with creation. So when we speak things into existence, and now we have the motivation of Mars to get it done, that's a beautiful way to master that three of creation, of expression. So 11-12 was a nice setup for us last week. Now we get into 11-13. So now we're mastering. 13 is a karmic debt number. And 13 is a karmic debt number because in this realm where everybody is supposed to be the same, everybody's supposed to want the same things, everybody's supposed to behave the same way, and it's not just from some Wizard of Oz over there on C-SPAN channel hiding behind or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's also us as a people. I see it on social media every day. If somebody doesn't do what you want them to do, or doesn't behave the way you would behave, or doesn't have the same moral or value code as you have, you're condemning them, you're disrespecting them, you're insulting them. It's very nasty, it's very disgusting. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it at all, and I see it a lot in the temples, and that's why I don't really be in them too much because I'm not tolerating that. Love is universal. Love is unconditional. Everybody can love, and everybody deserves love. I don't care if you outside bucket ass naked, stand on a handstand selling your coochie. You deserve love, and you deserve respect. And come out there like you hungry, you want a bottle of water, you doing a good job, girl. Gang gang, and then go on mind my business because that's something I would never do. But I'm not going to disrespect you. Do it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be mindful of them projections because some of y'all is tripping. Some of y'all losing sight of the movements you claim you stand on. But that's all about the 13. Now, that come back to what I was saying. If you was doing what you wanted to do, if you were honoring yourself, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, your personality, if you were really honoring your inner child, your inner selves, your inner ancestors and deities and what you're supposed to be doing, when you see somebody else being in their authentic self, you automatically know how to still give love and respect regardless if they're doing something that's in alignment with your internal law or not. So be mindful that 13 is a karmic debt number because yeah, everybody want everybody to be in each other's box. You gotta think like me. You gotta wear the clothes I'm wearing. You gotta carry yourself like you gotta wear your hair like mine. You gotta not wear makeup because I don't wear makeup and I don't think makeup is cool. So you don't think makeup is cool. Otherwise you a piece of shit. Like y'all really be talking to each other like that, and that is so crazy to me. I'm not with the shit. You will never see me agreeing with no stupid shit like that. And I love when people are in their individuality. I love when people are in their unique self. I love when people are expressing what they know and how they feel, and they're not projecting it on other people. They're like, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I love. This is what I admire. This is what I prioritize. This is what I value. Even if it is sex, even if it is money, even if everybody got their shit. Everybody has a shit. And that's the power of the 13 because when you put that 13 together, it makes four. Four is that foundation, that culture. Four is that chesed, that mayat, that internal blueprint of self. Everybody is a snowflake. Everybody has their own blueprint. Who am I to say, oh, well, I wear locks, okay? And I don't wear no makeup. So you're not real. You're not a real woman. You're not natural. You're not good enough. You're not any of these things. You don't deserve respect. You don't deserve love. You deserve to be insulted and disrespected because you don't carry yourself like me. That's crazy. You know, there's some people that look at me crazy because I got tattoos, because I have two children. So it's just like, mind your fucking business. Being your authentic self, be you, so that you can learn how to respect and mind your fucking business when other people are being them. It's so simple. And on that day of mastering minding your fucking business, Moon and Regulus were in conjunction. So if you were minding your business, you would have been able to utilize that moon energy to fully manifest the riches and the glory and the pride and the royalty that you want for yourself and your people who are in alignment with what you want. A lot of people like to go on soapboxes and preach to people who don't agree with them so that they can get into debates. I'd rather sit here and talk to people that's already in alignment on my frequency to some type of level. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the hearts and everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But be mindful of that. So if you guys weren't minding your business on the 13th, and also foreshadowing, the 13th was on Thursday. So next year it's going to be on a Friday. We're going to get a Friday the 13th next year, y'all. But that would have been a great day for you to manifest what you want to do for yourself if you were minding your business accordingly. Now we get to 11:15. So now we're in the space of mastering our knowledge and taking action on our solar plexus chakra. One is Asar, but one is also associated with the Aries house. Five is Leo. Five is also associated with Mars in the Sephiros when we deal with Hera Kahuti and we deal with Jadula. So that is a heavy solar plexus chakra, your motivation and ambition, which brings you to six, your Tippereth, which it still comes into Leo, that balance between our upper and lower self. Six is also, so that was a heavy fire day. Friday was a heavy fire day in the numbers. So the Friday that just passed, the best way to master that was to pull Wands card for you. Take action. Friday was a day of action. Getting things done, getting things on order, setting the tone. We want it. 11, 13, 26. Yes, and then it'll also be a year of one. So we'll be mastering our karmic debt number of 13 to help us with our culture. And once we master that, that's going to bring us to 1 and 5. So again, bringing us to that 15, that solar plexus chakra energy I'm just now talking about with that 6 of the Tippereth, and then we're going to put it into the year of 1. So at that Friday, that Venusian day, Friday 13th, is actually going to be a day of 7, which is going to be Netzach, a day of designing. Netzach is also associated with Venus. So that's going to be an awesome day to manifest and invoke with your heart chakra on that Friday next year. Mercury and Graphias was in conjunction on the 15th, on the day where we were dealing with our all that fire energy, 11:15. So, well, that was yesterday, right? It's only the 16th. Oh, okay, we're catching up. We're almost there, y'all. So Mercury is still in the Scorpio constellation, but now we're repeating degrees. So you'll see Mercury get back in conjunction in minimal angle with Graphias, Deshuba, and Aries once again. Those very harsh stars, people still not really learning how to communicate with one another. A lot of debating and bickering and going back and forth. Stand your ground with your moral and integral code. A lot of transformation still happening in people's schedules and routines too. So if you're seeking stability in your everyday life, trust and believe it's not there yet. It's okay. Just relax. Hold on. Then we get into 11:16, which is today. Happy birthday, W.C. Handy, gang gang. He is the father of blues. Learned that yesterday. 1 and 6 is having that knowledge of equality. Now we're in that space of we got that intellect. In the first decade of the month, we were solely just experiencing that 6, that Tippereth, that Virgo energy of habits and routines and things like that. That harvest energy, you reap what you sow. So now today we are taking action on it. We have knowledge on it. We're planning on it. I'm planting my seeds here, because I miss y'all. So I'm like, let me do the mathematics. I'm gonna catch y'all up. I miss y'all. I miss it here. I used to do this shit every day. I ain't seen y'all in over a month. Because my life keeps changing. It's not stable at all. But that brings us to 7. So now we're in the space of mastering the celestial designer based upon our knowledge, awareness, and action of that 6, that Tippereth, the equality, that harvest energy, how we're labeling and organizing ourselves. We're designing something in our space and according. I done cleaned my space. Now that I say that out loud, it's making me feel good about myself because I done cleaned my space. This to-do list is starting to feel a little starting to loosen itself up to me. I'm feeling real creative. I might get a song done today. We love it here. And I had really good conversations today so far. Yeah. I was good today. Sunshine's been good today so far. And it's only 6:30. We still going. Now today, the moon and Parima are in conjunction. So we have a Virgo moon right now. We may be in Leo zodiac at this point, right? But we are I'm not Leo, Libra zodiac at this point, but we are still in the Virgo constellation. So Parima is all about prophecies. So having those prophecies come to your third eye, go into meditation, concentrate on it, meditate on it, whatever. All of that's coming to the forefront today. Mercury and Deshuba and Graphias are at minimal angle, so we still have our throat chakra going through those harsh stars, ruled by Saturn and Mars, giving us the challenges and motivation, but also got some of y'all arguing and bumping heads with one another, depending on where your personal Mercury is at. Now, if your Mercury is in water, you're probably feeding into this. If your Mercury is in fire, you're probably fighting for your life, probably screaming at the top of your lungs to be heard. If not drowning by everybody else's water. And earth, y'all just be chilling. Y'all don't really care what elements going on. But water does smooth down the edges of the stone. You know what I'm saying? So you might have people trying to like, butter you up and help you become less rigid in your communication skills or whatever. You might, experience that a little bit to my people who have their Mercury placement in an earth element. So being mindful of that. Mars and Aries are also in conjunction because Mercury and Mars are both experiencing that straddle between the Sagittarius zodiac and the Scorpio constellation, that fire and water, dynamic. So Mars is over there near the Jupiter Mars star of the Scorpius constellation. So it's dealing with the journey, and it's a little bit of hindrance to some of you guys solar plexus chakras. Again, once again, depending upon what element that your Mars is in. Um, but Mars in Anti-Aries is going through, your solar plexus chakra, what motivates you. Some of you guys, okay, so that makes sense too. So some of you guys, okay, I won't say some of you guys. Let me be transparent, and if this applies to you, you could say, "Oh, me too." I'll take that. So I used to get seasonal depression really, really bad, and this was before I had so much awareness of myself. I had awareness of myself, but not as much as I have now. It's been a journey. So it was a period of time where it's just like I would just get it real, real bad, especially around this time of year. Because it'll be like I'll get it real bad around my birthday in September. I'll be somewhat cool in October, and then by November, December, it's like, what the fuck? I'm getting my ass beat. So this year, I don't feel the depression. I didn't feel it last year either, which was crazy because last year on 11/11, my house caught on fire. And last year on this day, I was homeless. Um, I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna do, and I started feeling that transformation in and what I desired, what I wanted, what brought me joy, like, and it wasn't making me sad, but there was something in my mind that said, I feel like I should be sad about this. You know what I'm saying? Why am I not sad about this? Like, what's going on? I'm not sad. And I feel that. Like I feel this disinterest in these different things. And a lot of times it's like a brain block. Like I feel all the other elements of depression, but I don't feel the sadness, basically. Wow, 11/11? Yeah, 11/11 was the day that my house caught on fire last year. And it was crazy. And then like a couple years before that, it wasn't 11/11, it was actually 11/2 that I got my leg surgery. So it was like that 11/2 energy, that heavy like Maya energy is like I'm still trying to figure out what Maya is trying to tell me because catastrophic events keep happening around the deep waters for me. Eventually I'll find somebody that I trust for real, and I'll let them talk to me. But I really don't trust people to read my energy and give me readings. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of these people on the internet, I'd be like, and then a lot of times I be trying to barter with other readers, and I be giving people the sauce. You hear me? I'm really good at what I do because I've been doing this since I was a child. Like I'm really, really good at what I do. And then I'd be like, all right, my turn. And they be giving me a card, and then they start reading out the booklet, and then they stuttering, and then I'm like, that is not the same effort I gave you, bro. This is why I don't get readings from you. This is why I don't get, but sometimes I do get tired of talking to myself. Yearly trans, yeah, my yearly transitions be dramatic as fuck. I got a rod in my leg, my house burnt down. This year I'm like, everybody just relax, everybody just chill. Let me just dye my hair. Like, can I just go get my eyebrows done? Like, can I buy a new dress? Can that be the transformation? Please, could it be something small? But yeah, so that's what happened today. Moon and Parima being in conjunction is receiving those prophecies, those foreshadowing, and all that stuff is there. Mercury and Deshuba and Mars and Anti-Aries, because our throat chakra in our solar plexus chakra is experiencing those transformations. So a lot of things that you were motivated to do, that you were speaking on and stuff like that, you might not be there anymore. They might be moving away. And in the same breath of other things moving away, other things are being built, right? So we're not just like transforming of destroying, but we're transforming of building. Some of you guys might have new ideas, new things you want to do, new places you want to go, and stuff like that. I think I want to start DJing. I got that idea on Friday. I was like, I'm gonna try it. It sounds fun. I want to be the sound conductor in the party. I would be good at it, I think. All right, so 11:17, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be mastering our awareness and our knowledge of our Netzach, our celestial designer, what we're designing in our space. And on that day, we have Moon and Spica in conjunction, so we'll still have that Virgo constellation moon. So now we'll be in that moon of harvesting, putting some type of action towards what it is that you said you wanted. Today we're getting the foreshadowing, we're speaking it into existence, we're doing all the things with Parima, we're having the premonitions and stuff. Tomorrow we're going to start harvesting it. Tomorrow have your 11, 17, 25. So that's 11, 8, 9. We're mastering that, the building and destroying the transformations of the 8. That's going to bring us to 1 and 9, which is knowledge being born, bringing us to knowledge in our cipher, because we got 10. That's Malkuth, that's Jeb. So whatever we're going to do, we're bringing it to the earthly realm. So whatever seance, whatever interactions, whatever it is that you got to do that. Harvest that shit tomorrow. Whatever it is you said you wanted to do today, make moves on that shit tomorrow. Tomorrow's an awesome day to nurture and cultivate those things. Harvest season mixtape. Yeah, that's what we doing tomorrow. So we're gonna bring that, because tomorrow's gonna be a day of 1, because we're gonna take that knowledge, we're gonna put it into the year of 9, and it's gonna bring us back to Malkuth. So tomorrow's a day of 1. Tomorrow's And then it's a Monday. So like I know Sunday is the first day of the week, but it's Monday, it's the first day of the work week, and it's a day of 1, and and then the moon is with Parima. So definitely like roll up your sleeves and get to work on the things that you want to do. Now if some of you guys y'all like to be controlled, go to therapy. But I guess y'all start working on what somebody else wants y'all to do. It's your world. The sun also enters Scorpio constellation tomorrow. So I know you guys are like, well, we've been in Scorpio. No, no, no. We've been in Scorpio zodiac this whole time. So our thought process, how we think things are, has been on the transformations. But now those thoughts of transformations are now going to align with those dramatic, empowering, transformational events. It's about to get hectic. So enjoy the sun entering Scorpio constellation tomorrow. Then we have 11:18. So now we'll be mastering our knowledge. Thank you, Junior. We'll be mastering our knowledge, our awareness, and our action with that ability to build and destroy that we got introduced on the 17 with the 1 and 7 equaling 8. So now we're here, having knowledge and awareness of the 8 that we dealt with yesterday. And on this day, Venus is Zubin El Janubi, and the moon will be, minimal angle of each other. So now we have a triangle of creation happening here between our heart chakra, our third eye, and Zubin El Janubi is in the Libra constellation. So now we'll have a Libra constellation moon. And this deals with marriage, redemption of captives, journeys. It has that Saturn and Mars energy, so it can be a little volatile, but it's all about giving us those empowering challenges to show us how motivated and how ambitious we are about the things that we said we wanted. Okay? Some of you guys, and we talked about this heavy when I was reading the book Balance Me. Some of you guys got really, really big dreams, but are you willing to do the things that need to be done to fulfill these dreams? Are you willing to make the sacrifices that need to be made? Some of you guys aren't willing to do that. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Be mindful of the things that you're actually willing to do versus what, like, that's just a dream. I don't think I'm ready to do all the things. Leonids reach max activity on the 18th as well. They move about 20 an hour. So if you look at the Leonids constellation and just like the trajectory, you might be able to catch a meteor, well, in an hour. Might be able, because, 20 an hour, that's a few going on in a minute, right? 2/6, 1/3. Yeah, 1 every 3 minutes. You're definitely going to catch a meteor shower. And then the Pleiades will be at midheaven, because you guys know while the sun is in Scorpio, Earth is in Taurus. So all the planets and things that's happening, hey Black. So all the planets and celestial bodies and stars that are in Taurus are very close to our skies right now. So we have Pleiades at midheaven. So how we deal with our wounds, and we talked about Uranus. As Uranus repeats those degrees, Uranus has been going back over Pleiades, providing us the progressive pushes we need to stop walking around so wounded and projecting our wounds onto other people. So now we have Pleiades at this successful space. So how you guys have been actually carrying your wounds and your traumas and things like that will be on the forefront in that period of time. And then we come into 11:19. So and on that day we're going to master our knowledge that's being born and reminding you, now we're closing up the second decade of the month and we're moving into the third decade of the month at this time, right? So on that 19 comes together and it makes 10, which brings us to Jeb, our earthly self, Malkuth, and then 10 is also knowledge in our cipher and supreme mathematics, bringing us back to knowledge, this awareness, this depth of being. So all of that should be happening on the 19th as we move from that second decade of wisdom. Now we're moving into the third decade of understanding. Hey, Alpha Man, how you doing, Liv? On this day, the moon and Venus will be in conjunction. So now we have our third eye and our heart chakra together. You should have intuition about what you value, what you prioritize. What do you need to obtain the materials and the relationships and the experience of beauty that you wish to design in your space. And now, the day before we were dealing with the minimal angle with Zubin al-Janubi. Now we're dealing with the conjunction with Zubin al-Janubi as we get closer in degrees. Mercury will also be the closest distance to the Earth, as you know. Communication can be real big on the 19th. The 19th is on Wednesday, right? That's a Wednesday. So that's a Mercury day, rule day. So that's pretty cool. Communication, invocation, organize your space, your calendar and stuff. It'll be a good day to do it. If you haven't already done it under the Venus moon. The Venus moon gets to me. My natal moon is in Venus. So when Venus is here, I done cleaned my space. I done organized myself. I feel good. It's a good time here. Venus also will be entering Draconic Sagittarius. So the spiritual aspect of our heart chakra as a collective will now be entering. How philanthropic are you? How expanded are you? Where's your wisdom at? What oracle or sage do you go to? Some of y'all going to Lilith. Some of y'all going to Eve. Some of y'all going to Jezebel. Some of y'all going to Ruth. And guess what? I love all four of them. You hear me? Then on 11/20, we have officially entered the third decade of the month. We are in the decade of communication, expression, and understanding, right? So on 2-0, we now have wisdom in our cipher because we have officially completed the second decade of the month, which was the decade of wisdom. Now we're putting it all into our space. We wise now. Now we telling people, what's going on, what happened, what did we do, what did we accomplish, what's your testimony type. On that day, we have the moon and Mercury will be at minimal angle in conjunction as the moon enters that Sagittarius Scorpius energy and starts aligning with Mercury and Mars, right? So we have the third eye and the throat chakra in alignment. Speaking into existence, deja vu could be very heavy there. It could be very easy for you to say what you want and it come to you on that period of time too. So being mindful of that. Then that's also the day of the new moon. So now we're in this moon of celebration. Oh, the new moon happening on the 20th. As soon as we enter the third decade of the month, that's pretty fire. Yeah. And then it's in alignment with Mercury. Yes. That is a great day to speak into existence. How you want to manage yourself, how we organize ourselves, our intentions for this next lunar cycle. That's wonderful. I love that for us. Yay to the 20. Mercury will also be inferior conjunction. So it would be like at an angle with the sun where it's kind of like, but it's still closer to us. So we're still like heavy on the invocation on the 20th, right? The moon in Dashuba and Graphius will also be in conjunction. As you know, the moon will be in Scorpius constellation. So lots of transformations, dramatic transformations that will happen in response to our invocation. So I'm telling you, at midnight, invoke what you want and let the rest of the 24 hours, follow suit. That would be real fire for you. Mercury also enters the Scorpio constellation. So we have officially exited out of the Sagittarius constellation. Zodiac. Sorry. We have officially exited out of the Sagittarius zodiac with Mercury. And now we are entering the Scorpio zodiac with Mercury. As you know, Mercury is in retrograde. So we have moved back to the transformations, empowering transformations, dramatic transformations. They could be a little... Be mindful of gossiping because, Mercury rules over Gemini and Scorpius can be a little messy. So a lot of tabloids, a lot of gossiping, he say, she say with this Mercury. And y'all see that a lot, right? With there's Epstein records and Cardi. There's always some gossiping happening online, but now it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's been like that since we've had like Pluto enter Aquarius because Pluto provides that messiness and Aquarius rules over the internet. So when Pluto entered Aquarius, we had Cat Williams on that show. Starting off the year, he started off the year with a bang. It was like, yeah. And then Pluto went into retrograde and then came back to Aquarius, like, yeah. So that was a nice little setup we had in the beginning of the year. So yeah, Mercury is over there in that experiencing those transformations. So be mindful of how you communicate with other people and give grace to how other people communicate with you. Because while I'm sitting here expressing this level of awareness with you guys, not everybody has this level of awareness, right? Then on 11/21, now we're mastering our wisdom and our knowledge that's bringing us to understanding. So once again, we're in another day of understanding, expression, and creation. And during this time, we have a triangle happening with the moon and Aries and Mars. So we're still in that Scorpio constellation. Mars is there, which rules over our solar plexus chakra. The moon is there, ruling over our third eye. And Aries is there, giving us the energy of Jupiter and Mars, which is that pride and that dignity. So a sense of valor. Whenever I see this energy like align, you know what I think of? I think of having like a shield for your home. You know how people have shields and they have mission statements and mantras, and there's just like this real sense of regal pride for your home. Like this is my throne, this is my castle type energy. You know, you should have that about not just your physical house, which is your altar, but you should also have it for the house of your soul, which is your body. So that's a good time to do whatever things that you want to do in those rooms. Um, Uranus will also be to the smallest distance of Earth and also in opposition of the Sun because, like I told you, Earth is in Taurus constellation while the Sun is in Scorpius constellation, and so Earth will be near all of the Taurus stars and the celestial bodies in Taurus, etc., etc. And so Uranus will be providing progressive pushes to the Earthlings. Expect some nut shit on the 21st. Sorry, guys. It never stops. And then on the 22nd is really cool because 22nd is the day of the Master Architect in the month of Mastery of Self, which brings us to Mastery of Creation on that 33. So we have this mastery of creation and expression during the third decade of the month. Oh my gosh. And then we're going to give birth to it on the 9th. And so on that day, we have the moon and Cos Borealis in alignment. And Cos Borealis is the star in the Sagittarius constellation. It has the energy of Jupiter and Mars, of ambition, pride, power. It's a good day to work on business, which is cool because you got the master architect, you got the master yourself, and you got the master of creation there on the 33. So having the 11, 22, and 33 together with that Cos Borealis energy, yeah, that's definitely something to mess with when you're in that space of like, yeah, this is what I want to have in my space. This is what I want to build on. You know, get with your conglomerate and just sit at a round table and get some shit going. I think of Mr. Burns, like yes, like Mr. Burns, and who was his side guy, and they just be like plotting on stuff. So yeah, that's that energy. Plot on the 22nd to get you to the 33. You hear me? On the 23rd, now we are mastering our wisdom in creation. At this point, you guys should be very wise in how to express, communicate, and create, and how you master that, because the 2 3 come together and make 5, which is enforcement. You know, the celestial enforcer of Herakahudi. Mercury will be the smallest distance to the sun at that period of time, so it's kind of like we're going into a new Mercury phase. You know what I'm saying? So Mercury is starting a new cycle. Now it'll be in waxing and it'll get, darker, brighter and brighter in our skies. So happy new Mercury, gang gang. And then you have the moon and Albalda in conjunction. Albalda is a star in the Sagittarius constellation. It's located at the back of the head of the Archer. This is where we get harvest, gain, definitely wisdom, because that's the wisdom star of the wisdom constellation. Um, and it's a really good star for travelers. So if you want to travel on that day, the 23rd is a great day to travel. And you know, if you got motor homes, you travel your home, you move and stuff like that. But also, this is a home too, y'all. Don't forget the body is a home. The body is the altar. We love it here. The sun also enters Sagittarius zodiac on that day. So while we're still in the Scorpio constellation and our events are still dealing with those transformations and things, our thought process is now dealing with expansion, abundance, philanthropy, optimism, being in our sacral chakra, creativity. We're loving it here. Then we go to 11/24. Now we're mastering our wisdom and our culture. Our 4 is culture, but it's like It's like the root of the things, because 4 deals with chesed, which is mayat, the celestial blueprint. So now we have the blueprint. We have wisdom on the blueprint now. I know, the weights of the things, what to put where, and all that stuff like that, because I was practicing that on the 14th, and then we had the fourth. What I had practiced that on the 14th when I had the knowledge of it, and I also was sitting on it on the fourth when I, was looking at the four. You know what I'm saying? So now we have this wisdom of the culture, which brings us to six teperef, which is the balance between our upper self and our lower self, um, putting it all together. And Mercury and Venus will be in conjunction on this day, which is really cool because six is associated with the Virgo house, of how we organize ourselves, how we manage ourselves, our health, wellness, daily routine, our moral and integral code. So, aligning those elements with our heart chakra of what we value and what we prioritize. It's pretty beautiful, guys, and all that's happening in Scorpius energy. So that's a good time to experience the transformations that need to happen so that you could design what it is you want in your space, for real, for real. The moon and Pluto will also be in conjunction here, so transformations happening to our nurturing self in response to that Mercury and Venus conjunction in Scorpio. Mercury will also be entering the Libra constellation, because remember, we're still in retrograde, right? So now we are exiting out of the Scorpius constellation, and now we're entering more fairness, harmony. The responses to the things that you guys have been invoking all week long should start coming into formation by the 24th, and we move in gratitude for the opportunities, right? Then we get to the 25th. On this day, we're mastering our 2-5, our wisdom in our solar plexus chakra, right? How we enforce things in our space. 2-5 come together and bring us closer to God, because 7 is God. This is Netzach. This is the celestial designer. All right. On this day, Mars enters Draconic Capricorn. So on our spiritual side of our solar plexus chakra as a collective, we are now entering that space of slow and steady building. We're building the things. This might be a little tug of war. Well, actually, no, not yet, because we're not in the tropical. We're not in tropical yet. So no, you should be good. Erase that. But Mars entering the Capricorn energy is, our motivation is going towards that energy of the goal of getting it done, getting in order, materializing, and things of that nature. Then we get into mastering of the 2 and 6. So now we have wisdom of our sense of equality, our sense of harvest. You reap what you sow type energy. And 2 and 6 come together and make 8, which is transformation. So now we're mastering that building and destroying energy here. And Moon and Deneb El Jeldi are in alignment on this day. That Deneb El Jeldi is in the Capricorn constellation. It's located at the tail of the goat, and it rules over our happiness. So nurturing what makes us happy is heavy here. Giving grace and hugging our nervous system. This star is ruled by Saturn and Mars, so you may experience people that's going to try to get on your motherfucking nerves. The goal is to play for real, happy, and start skipping down the fucking street. Do what you got to do on Kurt, okay? But that's what we're going to do there, all right? With the moon and Deneb El Jeldi on the 26th. Then on 11/27, we have 2-7. So now we have this wisdom on our celestial designer. We have this wisdom of God here, because we've been designing. We had God on the 7. We had the knowledge and awareness of God on the 17th. And now we have the wisdom of God here, which is going to help us give birth to the things that we want to see in our space on that 9. So we have this mastery of our ability to give birth, our completion and wholeness. And on this day, Venus will be entering Scorpius constellation. So now we'll have transformational events happening to our heart chakra, to line up with those transformational thoughts that have been happening on our heart chakra of what we value and prioritize and what we wish to see in our space. And it's not just on destruction. Don't forget about the building part too. Don't get so caught up on the destruction because you were trying to hold on to things that no longer had space for what you were trying to build. So, move forward to the building, stick to the positivity, especially as we start to get all the Sagittarius energy in order. And we're pulling the Wands cards, because you're going to pull that Wand card into sadness and depression and suppression and all those things if you allow it. And that's why people, go deep, 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 and they get onto the dark side of the sacral chakra of overindulging, obsessions, addictions, depression, and all those things like that. Because some people are addicted to being sad. Don't get it twisted. Some people's sacral chakras they can get so typed up and wounded that they can get addicted to that kind of frequency. Don't let that be you. Okay. So on this day, where was I? I was on the 1127, right? Finding that wisdom in the God that brings us to 9, giving birth to the things. Venus enters Scorpius constellation, transformation from the Venus. Okay, let's move on. And then 1129. So now we're 1128. So now we're mastering our wisdom of the building and destroying. So Venus enters Scorpius constellation on 27. Now we got the wisdom of it on 28. So something real big might happen for you on the 27 that you're like, what the fuck? But then wake up on 28 with the answers. 2-8 come together and give us Malkuth. So it is going to be on the earthly realm. And then bring it back up to our SAR, our awareness, because 1 plus 0 gives 1. On that day, we have the first quarter moon at 1 a.m. So now we move from waxing crescent to waxing gibbet. So we move from building on intangible things, our spirituality, our mentality, our emotion, all that, and we move into building like actual physical things in our space. That first quarter moon happens at 1 a.m. You might feel the shift. Saturn goes prograde on the 28th. So now we'll have Saturn moving forward. When I get into my other notes of things, so Saturn was in retrograde since July 13th. Okay, it was in the second house of values and business. On the 28th, Saturn will be in the third house of community, communication, and siblings. So that's where the challenges will be at on the 28th. It went from 1 degree Aries because we started the retrograde. Saturn was creating transformations and the new beginnings in the warrior energy. And then now Saturn has moved over to Pisces energy to create, those challenges in our spirituality and our sensitivity. So you're a Leo. Peace. Happy? Hey, Leo. What's up with you? How you doing? How you feeling? What I do here is I talk about where the planets are at in the current chart. And you can line that up with your personal placements. Because you have a Leo sun, but you also have a moon placement, a Mercury, a Venus, a Mars. You got all of that. And you still have a rising sign too. So, all of those are different elements of yourself. And that's how you can pinpoint down what kind of Leo are you. I know my whole chart. Oh, bet. All right. So do you have Pisces placements? If you have a Leo sun, what would be in Pisces? You might have a Pisces moon, maybe. Because the moon goes through all the signs at the same time. Or maybe some outer planets. But you passed me with the other stuff. Oh, yeah. It's everything. So you can align the current chart with your personal chart. And then not only do you have a natal chart, which is the chart, which is where the planets were at when you were born, but you also have a progressive chart. Because just like your body and your mind and everything is always moving and growing and expanding and contracting, so is your electromagnetic energy around you. So you got to find out where your planets are at today in this moment. And then align that with where the planets are at now in this moment. We can see if I have a synastry chart. You can definitely do a synastry chart for your progressive and the current chart. That'll work. So every year on Earth is a day in the cosmos. So say I was born September 1st and I'm 30 years old. So when I do my progressive chart, I will put September 30th, 1990 or whatever. And I will put that as the synastry chart for today's date, which is the 16th of November. So you could align those. But yeah, when we come back to the 28th, this is the day where, we're mastering that 10 and 1. Saturn began prograde. The comet 45P Honda Miracles is conjunction with the sun. So once again, we have another comet. We know the comet is the ancient celestial information of our galaxy, and it's coming across the sun when the sun rolls over our experiences, right? So, you might have some deja vu on that day, coming into some awareness on that day of some primordial things. So be mindful of that. Hyades is also at midheaven. Hyades is like the horns of the Taurus constellation. Mind you, wherever the sun is at, the earth is always in opposition. So we have that there. Do I have any notes on Hyades? I know it's like a combination of a few different stars. I see a page in a book popped in my head. I see the visual and stuff like that. Because at one point, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought that Hyades was a constellation by itself. And in a sense, it kind of is, but it's like a constellation within a constellation being associated with Taurus. But no. But those are the horns of the bull. Pretty self-explanatory about the electromagnetic field of Hyades, right? And then we have 1129. So now we're mastering our sense of mastery, right? Because 2 and 9 come together and make mastery energy. But 2 and 9 is wisdom of our sense of wholeness. So now we're coming to the end of our third decan of the month. We're about to go into the fourth decan of the month. So now we're looking back and seeing how well have we mastered um the third decade, our our wisdom, our exercise of our wisdom in our space. Do we feel whole? Do we feel like we mastered the energy here? So this is our another 1111 day for us on 1129. And on that day, Mercury retrograde ends. So, and that happens at 11:15 a.m., kind of close to the 11:11. The moon and Saturn are going to be in conjunction. So we have our nurturing self in alignment with our challenges, and the challenges and limitations bring us the discipline and order that we need to help to assist our nurturing self. Islam. So we can put those two things together and allow our emotions to manifest into the space. And the moon and Neptune will also be in conjunction, because Saturn and Neptune are like 4 degrees apart, between like 25 and 29 degrees in that Pisces constellation. But also in Pisces zodiac as well. I'm a Virgo too. Well, I have a Virgo sun. I have a Virgo sun. I'm learning. I gotta remember how to communicate myself. I have a Virgo sun. I have a Virgo moon. I have a Virgo Venus, and I have a Virgo Mercury. And so Moon and Neptune are also in conjunction. So we have like that triangle happening in the Pisces zodiac, Pisces constellation of our dreams, our subconscious, our hidden enemies. Um, Bringing things to a close, to an end in our home and family, and a lot of the challenges that we have experienced. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. And, all those things like that. We love it here. Then we get to 11:30. Now we're mastering our sense of expression and our cipher, our sense of understanding in our cipher and supreme mathematics. We're mastering the three once again as we enter the fourth decan of the month. On this day, Mars is the furthest distance to the Earth, as Mars is in opposition, being over there in Scorpius constellation, while Earth is sitting in Taurus constellation. And so they're the furthest from each other. You might not feel motivated to do too much of anything that day, or you might feel super fired up if you do have like heavy Scorpius placements. Um, but if you have heavy Taurus placements, you might take a nap. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that works with that. Then I wanted to give you guys some cheats. So let's walk into December a little bit. December, we come into the month of 3. And this is our month of understanding, expression, creation. Emotions is heavy on the 3, right? And people get really emotional about the holidays, and I can't buy toys, or I can buy toys, or my childhood was like this, or my family like that. Some of you guys lost some really close loved ones, and you're learning to cope. And 3, it just gets real crazy in the month of 1 and 2. That knowledge and wisdom, and brings us understanding. This month is also associated with Jupiter energy, that Obatala energy, which is wisdom from the oracle and sage. We get into the darkest time of the month during the solstice, which is around 12:21 on a 3/3 in this year of 9. So that 339 is gonna be like a 3/3, and then 6/9. That's gonna be a fun time. We love it here. Um, but we also deal with that darkness and all the knowledge and the wisdom and things that come from that. But we also deal with that oracle energy from Jupiter. And so the month of 1 and 2 is really all for up here, up in this triangle area space. So on 3/2, we will learn how to express and create with our sense of balance, harmony, and justice. Aldebaran will be opposite the sun. Aldebaran is the star of where is it? It's the star in Taurus constellation. It's located in the eye of Taurus, and it brings on honor, intelligence, and courage. Also, a beginning of a large political undertaking. So, if you guys have been following the politics, also if you guys have been following the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell's stupid ass, I can't stand that nigga. If you've been following around that period of time, the Federal Reserve has to make certain decisions about inflation, and all that depends upon your behavior. If they drop this $2,000 check in your pocket, if y'all want inflation to go down, please boycott shit. Please, 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 please. Or circulate that shit solely through small businesses. And if you have a small business, keep that shit circulating through small businesses. Please don't let that money escape our communities. It's so important. These people are playing on our tops and we letting them because we don't fully understand the game that they playing. But they can't exist if we don't believe in them. And y'all gotta move like y'all don't believe in this shit. If they give you a piece of paper, wipe your ass with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't get happy. Don't start crying. Don't start thinking Jesus. Don't start doing the weird shit. Fuck them. None of this shit is real. They're trying to keep you in your cages. We want out. We don't want to be in these cages no more. Tell Jerome Powell to go eat a dick. Okay? Then we got Venus and Teshuvah at minimal angle because Venus is in the Scorpius constellation. So that is the star, transformation. Teshuvah gives off that energy of Saturn and Mars. So it could be challenging, could be a little angry, you know what I'm saying? Venus does deal with materials and emotional self in this space as well. So not only are we dealing with that Taurus sun being in opposition of our experience, so the spotlight is on Taurus, Venus, which is what we value, what we prioritize, is still undergoing those transformations. And also, a very severe being around the Shuba, giving off those challenges. Then Jupiter and Pollux will also be in conjunction, as Jupiter is still in Jupiter retrogrades back to Gemini constellation. Yeah. So it will be near the Pollux star. So it's providing that expansion and that abundance with the immortal twin, which gives off Mars energy. And it could be a little hubris, violent, rash. So be mindful of that. Jupiter deals with authority. Jupiter deals with long-term planning and business. So keep mindful of that. Then we get into 12-3. Now we're in this space of knowledge and wisdom, which brings us expression on our sense of expression. It's a 3-3 day. We have Venus and Graphius. Venus still going through those hard stars of transformation. Still showing y'all empowering transformation, revealing information to help you guys change what you value, what you prioritize. Please change, please change, please change. Then we have a triangle happening with the moon, Uranus, and Pleiades once again. Uranus giving us those progressive pushes and that Taurus energy. Pleiades is how we harbor our wounds. So progressive pushes, nurturing progressive pushes. Let the moon nurture that energy, because some people might try to punch you in your chest out of your wounds, but it's okay to, nurture yourself out of your wounds as well. Be mindful of your expression. Everybody has a testimony. Your testimony is here to make you stronger, not to just sit in it. You know what I'm saying? When you sit in it, you make yourself weaker. Then we have 12-4, which is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in our chesed energy. The moon will be the smallest distance to the earth. It'll also be a full moon. So I believe this will be our last super moon of the year on the 4th of December. 4 deals with our sense of heart, culture, chesed, which is our celestial blueprint. We design our space as Mayat on the 4th. The full moon will be, at 100% at 5:15 p.m. And then the moon and Aldebaran will be in conjunction. So we have that happening there. And that's the eye of the bull. Then, I went to 12-5. So now we're in our sense of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of our celestial enforcer. And this will be the earliest sunset of the year at 4:47 p.m. Now, during November up until this time, by the time we get to December 5th, Saturn's rings will disappear because of our angle to Saturn. So usually we'll be seeing Saturn's rings at an angle, but by then Saturn will be like this, and their rings are so thin from our distance that we won't really see them too much. Hopefully we don't accidentally bump into them shits. Like my bag. Because we not good drivers. America is not the best drivers in the world. And we swear up and down everything and everybody want to bump into us. But I think it's really us. We be trying to take over the whole road, especially once we realize everything wasn't on a exact orbit. Then we'll be like, oh snap, it's not. Bet I'm finna be driving all over the solar system, the galaxy, and universe. Watch this. So that is the celestial update for the month of November, from the beginning to the end, y'all. So as far as retrogrades go, we have Mercury in retrograde moving slow for us. We have Jupiter in retrograde moving slow for us. We have Saturn in retrograde moving slow for us. We have Uranus in retrograde moving slow for us. Neptune and our nodes, of course, and Chiron is also in retrograde, moving slow for us. If you're born around this time of year, most likely these planets are in retrograde. They go retrograde like this every year. This is not a brand new phenomenon or nothing like that. This is something that is a part of the cycle. It feels like Earth goes through a thick part of the solar system or something like that, to where the planets around us appear to be moving slower. But it might just be us in our perception, because we're a little egotistical. That's why we be claiming our sun signs the way we do. Like, I am. No, you're not that. You have it, but you are not. And the sun sign is our ego. So it's like people walk around claiming their egos and stuff like that, and not knowingly. And that's okay. Like, you don't know. You don't know. So it's okay. While we are still in Scorpio constellation, good stones to have are aquamarine, moldavite, hematite, rose quartz, rhodochrosite, moonstone, and unakite. All right. And if you guys want any pieces, reach out to your girl, because I make jewelry. And then while the sun is in Sagittarius zodiac, the best stones to have is topaz, turquoise, aventurine, smoky quartz, lapis, obsidian, and of course copper. Once again, reach out to your girl, because I make jewelry. All right. And I'm about to pull some cards for the collective, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, because I missed a couple phone calls. I got some shit to do. And I still want to use the rest of this day to design what it is that I want to do and make space. I need to make a calendar and stuff. It's time to make a calendar. All right, so the vibe for today, well, the vibe for the remainder of the month, or until I see you again, is joy. Hibiscus is the herb. We're going to focus on Venus, because we see like Venus is doing a lot, especially with Earth and Taurus. So, though Uranus is very close, giving us the progressive pushes. We're around all those heavy, Taurus stars. Venus is making some transits and conjunctions and things. So we really want to be, we really want to be in alignment with the transformations in our heart, and what we value and what we prioritize, especially with, you see Venus and Pluto up there, but especially with Venus going into Scorpius energy, right? So be mindful of that. So the vibe, the vibe of the energy is about joy, empowering transformation to what we value and prioritize what we like. And hibiscus is the herb. 1 and 4, knowledge of a culture, brings us to 5. That's what we're going to end up enforcing. And I feel like I'm repeating things, because that was like really heavy in what I was talking about with the stars, right? So the card is definitely in alignment. To expand a little bit, we got the 9 of Wands here. So there's completion in some of the actions that we've been taking. Some of you guys may be doing a little too much or going too far or overthinking things, or some of the troubles is like in your mind and stuff like that. But we are in a space of completion and endings with some of the things. Let them go. Open your hand. Open your hand. Not just so you can let those things go, but also so you can receive that what's supposed to be in its place. You guys are holding on to things in that heart chakra, and Pluto's trying to help you let go so you can be in the power that you're meant to be. Now, I pulled this sideways, so it could go either way. Some of y'all holding on to, different things. So now you got third party situations, because you trying to hold on to the John, and the universe trying to give you something different, and now it's a wounded mess. And 2 things place at the same time. You try to 5 physics. It's crazy here. We don't like it. What's the keys? What parts of self to focus on? Isolation in your throat chakra. It's time to go inward. It's time to work on self. It's time to communicate and invoke the things that you want in your space. And not everybody can do that with you. Not everybody can do that with you. We're gonna bring some things to in there. Some of y'all is in them Venusian relationships. It's not always romantic, because Venus also deals with business partnerships, bonds, and contracts. So some of them things need to come to an ending, so you can stop holding on to these swords. And in order to do that, you need to be alone. Also, we're going to focus on our Chokmah, which is our second Sephiroth. This is Jupiter in Capricorn, building on our wisdom. You know what I'm saying? It's time to build on our wisdom, find some discipline with our wisdom. We know from practice 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 1 can also equal 3. Now it's time to find some sense of discipline and order that implements that level of wisdom, right? And then here's a key for extra. Some of y'all might be having nightmares. You know, some of y'all might be having some dreams. You know, daydreams, night dreams that's not fully in alignment with with yourself, and it might be worrying you. You might be worried. You're worried because there's transformations happening. You don't want to let them go. Let them go, y'all. Let them go. So that's the vibe for here. Allow the transformations to occur. Allow, yourself to, reevaluate yourself, go inward, have a fun time with all the Scorpius energy, especially as the sun enters Scorpius constellation. Then we have Venus entering Scorpius constellation. Then we have Mars and Mercury in Scorpius constellation. It seems like we're moving into Sagittarius zodiac sun, but we still got a lot of transformations and secrets to come out and all those things to happen in between time. So that's what I got for you guys today for the planetary update for the month of November. And I gave you guys a little bit of cheat sheet for December. I will see you guys in the month of December. I'm coming back for the daily mathematics because I miss you guys terribly. I'm gonna bring it back into my schedule. It's important. It's important to me. It's important to me. It really is, and I miss it, and I forgot how much I missed it. And I'm really good at it. So I'll see y'all later. I ain't gonna make this video it's too much longer than what it already is. So peace to y'all over there on YouTube. Y'all been some real ones. Thank you.